Hey guys, welcome back. So today's topic is a little bit different from the stuff that we're normally talking about. I want to talk about Operation Desert Storm, the Gulf War, and I don't know, I guess how it impacted me and how it influenced video games that I played after it had happened. Maybe games would have never been made had the war not happened. And I don't know why I find a war interesting. Like the Gulf War started in January of 1991. So I would have been in fifth grade. And I can remember being very interested in wanting to know more about the vehicles, the equipment, just what was going on. I would watch the news sometimes. There was articles in the front page of the newspaper. I'd usually read those. I don't know what it is, you're a product of your environment, and my earliest military type of thing would have been G.I. Joe. So I don't know if it's because of G.I. Joe that I find this stuff interesting, but war is horrible. It's a terrible thing that us humans do, and the horrors of war are awful. But I do find it interesting. I do find interest in like the vehicles and the equipment, strategies and tactics, and individuals and their motivations for doing what they do. And I don't know why that would happen as young as me being in fifth grade. It kind of seems weird. I don't know. But I knew about the concept of war. Like we had already, we were learning about the Revolutionary War in fifth grade. I remember watching educational like reenactment movies about it. So I knew about the concept of war, but this was different. Like I didn't have a whole lot of interest in learning about it when I was in the classroom. Like I knew about it, but it was kind of like, this is school and I'd rather be at home playing video games. But when the Gulf War happened, it was different. Like it was actually happening. I grew up watching all these cartoons that basically were good guys versus bad guys and the conflict between them. He-Man versus Skeletor, G.I. Joe versus Cobra, the Autobots versus the Decepticons, Mask versus Venom, good versus evil. Like that's what I was raised on TV and the cartoons to sell the toys that I played with and movies. If you were to ask me, okay, these are the types of stories that we're going to let you experience, I'm going to be interested in the one that's about good versus evil, the one that's about conflict. Because I guess that's just what I was around when I grew up, just experiencing all that stuff. So, I knew about war, and I might have known about World War II. Well, yeah, I would have known about World War II because I knew about the Nazis, mainly from the stuff that I watched. So like Indiana Jones, he was always fighting the Nazis. The Nazis were bad people. But it's like all that stuff happened in the past. But here's this war that is actually happening, and the United States is involved, and it was just different. I just don't know how to describe it. It was different, and I was interested to learn more about it. And whenever an active war has happened during my lifetime, I learned something. I learned about a piece of equipment or terminology or something, and it just sticks with me. And whenever I think about that piece of equipment or that term or whatever, it takes me back to the time when that war like first started and the things that I was doing at that time. And so I want to talk about that. I want to talk about some of the things that I learned from the Gulf War that have stuck with me, and that when I think about, I go back to being a fifth grader and watching the newscasts and reading the articles in the newspaper and learning about the Gulf War. And So, as far as equipment goes, I learned about the Humvee. I knew what like a military Jeep was, like a World War II military Jeep. And I remember seeing the Humvee and thinking, wow, that looks totally different. Like it's big and it just looks totally different. And I remember seeing footage of our troops driving around Humvees and staying at Humvees at like checkpoints and stuff like that. And I think that's one of the reasons I do find military equipment interesting because it's so different from the civilian counterparts. Um, like, so the other vehicle, or the next vehicle, is the AH-64 Apache attack helicopter. Now, I knew what a helicopter was. Our hospital had a helipad with a helicopter, and it was right by the interstate. So whenever you went down the interstate and you drove past the hospital, you could see the helicopter. And I see that Apache, and it looks totally different. It just, the color, the shape, not to mention the weapons that are hanging off of it, like, it is totally different from what I know of as a helicopter. And I can remember the news media talking about the Apaches and flying in low to the ground and taking out whatever they were supposed to take out. And I remember them talking about the Hellfire missiles. That was like their primary weapon against tanks. And I thought the name Hellfire sounded cool. I mean, I was a fifth grader, you know. And I do like aircraft. I don't know, aircraft is cool. And so this next one, the F-117A Stealth Fighter. Now, my first introduction to aircraft probably was Top Gun, well, and G.I. Joe, but was probably Top Gun and the F-14 Tomcat. So that's what I based, this is what a military fighter jet looks like. It looks something similar to the Tomcat. It's gray, and this is what it looks like. And I see the F-117, and I'm like, that thing is so different. Like, look at it. It looks so weird. But I like the way it looks. I like the flat angular sides to it. It's black, and it's stealth. Like, it's almost like something out of G.I. Joe. It's like this super high-tech thing that it can't be seen by radar, and they can go in and they can drop their bombs on their targets and get out, and the enemy won't even know where they're at. Like, super high-tech and G.I. Joe like that. The media, I can remember them really talking about that, how high-tech and advanced all of our equipment was. And I'm just guessing here, but I would assume that's because our last big war was Vietnam, and things had changed so much from Vietnam to the Gulf War. And so I guess they probably wanted to report about it. But find that aircraft very interesting, and I couldn't tell you which one I like more, the Tomcat or the Stealth Fighter. I feel like they're both a part of my youth, and I find them both very interesting. So one of the pieces of equipment that was like highly touted over the news was smart bombs. In past wars, we would carpet bomb, we would drop like a normal, traditional free fall bomb, and we would drop a whole bunch of them and carpet bomb so we could take out some building or whatever. But now we had smart bombs, laser-guided smart bombs that I can remember the reporters talking about how you could take one bomb and you could like drop it through the front door of a building and blow up the whole building with one bomb. Like, that's how accurate they were compared to the way we used to do things. And they would always show this black and white footage, and they showed that stuff all the time. And the Gulf War was actually dubbed the video game war, which makes no sense to me as someone who's been playing video games since before the war started. And you look back at the video games that we were playing in 91, I don't get the connection between that smart bomb footage and video games. It seems like a term that was made by somebody who doesn't play video games, because to me, if you wanted to call something a video game war, I would relate that more towards pilots flying a Predator drone and dropping their payloads. Like sitting there at a display or whatever with a joystick or whatever, watching their monitor feed. To me, that's like playing a video game. It's like playing a flight simulator. But dropping smart bombs, that I just don't get that. And so whenever I think about that stuff, whenever I see an image of an Apache or a stealth fighter or a Humvee, it takes me back, and I think about being in 5th grade and learning about the Gulf War and thinking, man, we're in a war. Like, I was born during the Cold War, but that was a Cold War. This is an active war that our military is engaged in. And it was just the first time that had ever happened. So it just, the memories have stuck with me. I mean, it also helps that I'm interested in the military and stuff like that. But I don't know. Anyways, I got a couple games over here that I played after the events of the Gulf War. And like I said, maybe some of these games wouldn't have came out had the Gulf War not happened. I don't know. But because of my interest in all this stuff, I played them. So I wanted to share them. The first one is LHX Attack Helicopter. So in this game, you can fly the Apache or you can fly the experimental LHX helicopter. It's a flight simulator. When you want to talk about games that have aged poorly, like a lot of people bash on, well, they bash on the N64 and maybe the PlayStation. Like these early 3-dimensional flight simulator games, holy cow, you talk about aging poorly. I play these games now and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I played this game. Like, this isn't good. But at the time I thought it was great. But yeah, you look at it now and just all flat shaded. It's ugly and it just not that great of a game. So why have it in my collection? Because there's memories attached to it. So that's why it's in my collection. And no, I don't really play them, but I wanted it for my collection. And this game is 2-player. So the Apache is a 2-man aircraft, and there's a pilot and a gunner. So in the game, one person can be the pilot and one person can be the gunner. And I remember trying it out thinking, oh, cool, we can play this 2-player. Well, as a kid, you kind of always think your way is the best, and you're always overly critical of someone doing something else not the way you wanted it done. So all I can remember playing 2-player is arguing and being frustrated because either the gunner or the pilot wasn't doing what I thought they should be doing. So needless to say, I hardly ever played this game 2-player. And we've got F-117A, or no, F-117 Nightstorm. So we're flying a stealth fighter. On the back there at the top it says strike without warning. So really, touting the stealth capabilities. And even on the back of this case, they mentioned laser guided bombs. I guess that was a really big deal. I mean, the media really touted it up about how advanced our stuff was. But yeah, games that have not aged well. Maybe those games shouldn't have came out on the Genesis. Maybe they should have came out on the PlayStation. I don't know. The game we are going to play, definitely influenced by the events of the Gulf War, and that is Desert Strike, Return to the Gulf. So it's right down there where my finger's at. Got a picture of an Apache on there. And on the back of it, I didn't mention this, so we had our Patriot missile launcher systems, and the Saddam had his Scuds. And right there on the back of the box up at the top, it says the Scuds are back. And you have missions where you're going to destroy like Scud missile launching sites. So I can remember seeing this game as a kid and seeing the Apache, the desert setting, the Scuds, and thinking, oh, this is kind of like the Gulf War. And it's the first time that I remember playing a game that was inspired by real life events. All the games that I played were fictional affairs. It was running around the Mushroom Kingdom, or shooting aliens in Contra, or killing Dracula in Castlevania, or defeating Dr. Wily and his evil robots, or playing as a Ninja Turtle. It's all fictional stuff. But the Apache is actually a real thing. Like, the war happened, and this was inspired by it. So this is the first game that I really remember connecting it with a real life event and thinking, wow, I want to play this. This looks cool. And I really enjoyed these strike games. I played all the 16-bit ones, and I really enjoyed all of them. So this is the game that we're going to play today. So let's check out Desert Strike for the Sega Genesis. Hey guys, so while editing this episode, I realized that I forgot to talk about the Desert Storm Game Boy. And how I managed to do that, I have no clue, but it needs to be in this episode, so it's going in right here. I was reading Nintendo Power when that gentleman sent in his Game Boy. I don't think I really ever read the mail section of Nintendo Power. Of course, it was all about the games, and I'm a kid, so, you know, I don't want to read stuff. Really, I just want to look at the games and see the, you know, the new features and tricks and all that stuff. But you see a melted Game Boy, and you're like, what the heck is this? And so I did read that the letter that the person sent in, and then the editor's response to it. So I'm going to throw an image of that page from Nintendo Power up on the screen and then read through the whole section of it. Enclosed are the remains of my one-time comforter, playmate, and rejuvenator Game Boy. As a police officer in Oklahoma City and a registered nurse serving in Operation Desert Storm, I've faced many perils. Fortunately, this Game Boy, several game packs, and sundry other personal items were the only casualties claimed by a fire while I was stationed in the Middle East. I'm probably not the first to ask, but is it possible to get a replacement? When we received Stefan's Game Boy from the Middle East, we thought that it was a goner. The back of the unit was in fair condition, but the front was charred and blistered from the heat of the fire. As an experiment, we popped in a Tetris game pack, plugged in a battery pack, and flipped on the power switch. When we heard its distinctive ping, we couldn't believe it. The control pad, A and B buttons suffered meltdown, but the start and select buttons worked perfectly. Game Boy is even tougher than we thought it was. Of course, we don't recommend that you subject your Game Boy to trial by fire, but in this case, we replaced Stefan's Game Boy as a special Desert Storm courtesy. So that's pretty awesome. And when I think of Desert Storm, I think of this Game Boy. I think of seeing that melted Game Boy. And I believe that Nintendo still has this. It might be on display in New York, and it still powers on. Unplayable, but still powers on. So anyways, with all that out of the way, let's check out Desert Strike for the Sega Genesis. Alright guys, I got Desert Strike going here, and I'm just going to leave all these options as is. And here we're getting our briefing from Mr. Norman Schwarzkopf. I don't really ever watch those because we press the start button, we go to this nice handy map screen, and it'll tell us everything we need to know. So we've got radar sites as our first objective, then a power station, airfields, command centers, and then we got to find our secret agent somewhere. This map will also tell you where numerous enemy locations are at. Here's friendlies that we can pick up to refill our armor, fuel drums, ammo crates, and an LZ. So this game also has resource management to it, which is pretty cool. There's our LZ. Fly in here, and why don't we just pick this guy up while we're at it. Radar site's right over here because it's got chain link fence around it. And our Hellfire has destroyed that. Whoops. I pushed the wrong button. Don't use Hellfires on infantry. But they are good for stronger... Whoops. That radar site was tall enough that I actually crashed into it, which sucked because those AAA batteries were able to take some shots at me. So my armor's now probably a little lower. Danger zone. I don't know if that's like... Ooh, Jeez, what the hell? I'm thinking that when the game says that, it's because you are you're at an objective that you're not supposed to be. Like, the game tells you to do the objectives in order, numerically. And strategically, I mean, this is what you'd want to do. You'd want to take out radar sites and communications. That way the enemy is blind. You know, information is extremely important on the battlefield. Like, we got some reinforcements coming in. Looks like that's it. Got 2 friendlies right here. Let's pick them up. You want to make sure they get your helicopter lined up with the object, because it's possible to like fire rockets and one will hit the target that you're trying to shoot and the other one will not. That is an armor refill. And while we're here, we might as well just grab some fuel. And our next objective is the airfield. Here it is. Let's take out their defenses. Oh, dang it. There we go. All right. So now we got to destroy all the planes on the runway and buildings and everything. Planes are pretty easy to take down, just our normal gun, chain gun. We'll take care of those easy enough. And I don't think I've probably got much for munitions for Hellfires and rockets. So let's get ourselves lined up here. All right, that is done. Get lined up and take out this other hangar. Exhausted all of my rockets. Oh boy. I am completely out of ammo except for my guns. Let's get back to the LZ. We'll drop off our guys to refill our armor, and then we'll stock up on ammo and fuel. The guy never saw what hit him. There we go. You can destroy supplies too, so you want to make sure that you're not being too reckless with the munitions that you're shooting off. So like before, take out their defenses. Oh, think I hit that building. I'm not actually sure if I hit that building. I didn't hear a hit, but it sure looked like I did. Again, we'll take out their fighter jets first, and then the buildings. See, as you saw right there, I launched my rocket and it completely missed the tower. There's an ammo refill. I would think reinforcements would be coming in. Oh. There they are. So we'll head up to our command center next. I still have at least a couple Hellfires and rockets left. Armor's low and my fuel's low, so let's get fuel first. If you run out of fuel, you're going to crash. I have done it. I've actually ran out of fuel like right when I got to a fuel canister and fell on top of it. Actually, there's ammo right here, so we'll just stock up on ammo. Ooh, oh, no way. Oh. Well, there's no need to, you know, pick up dudes to refill our armor, so. We'll take out their towers. That sucks. I guess I should have stayed here and maybe tried to take that tower out and picked up the armor refill. And their commander or whatever dude is in here. And the commander gave us the location of our lost agent. So that will now show up on our map. And I'm going to refill my armor since I'm here. And then I'm going to go pick up our secret agent. Oops. Definitely crashed into that building. Dang it. Well, as you can see right there, I destroyed the fuel drums. Let's get lined up here better. I don't like these guys. Like, I think they've got RPGs, because they're not like your standard infantry, but it also seems like they take more hits, which doesn't really make much sense, but oh well. Alright. So here's where our secret agent's hiding out. We'll get this fancy cutscene. Our dude is so tall that he would have got decapitated from the rotor blades right there. And then it shows us in game for some reason. And here's some reinforcements. Make quick work of these guys with Hellfires. Should be it. Pick up our guys. Oh. This must be our secret agent. And I'm assuming that's my co-pilot. What do I have, like 4 people? 3 people in this thing? That doesn't really work for a 2-man aircraft. But that's it. Now we've got everybody. I'm assuming I can fly straight back to the ship. I don't think I have to drop anybody off at the LZ to unload. And then you get a end mission screen that shows the points and gives you a password for the next level. The attack force is stronger than we thought. That one helicopter kicked our asses. And there's Storm and Norman again. And we will head back out. Alright, we got more radar sites and prisoners that we have to break out of jail. Political prisoners, power station, chemical weapons factory. And the Scud launchers are located somewhere, but we have to find the Scud commanders, which are located somewhere. So we'll start with our radar sites. I'm assuming in this mission that we will have armored vehicles that are now stronger than the ones from the first mission. So this game is tough. Like, the difficulty really ramps up. You really have to manage your resources. You will get taken down very quickly in this game. I might even be able to show you guys. Whoops. Alright, first mission is done. Radar sites are down. So now we have to get these political prisoners. Oh, God. It locked onto that infantry instead of the whatever that is, the anti-air missile launcher thing. That sucked. I am totally out of Hellfires now. Whoa! I don't know how many guys we can actually hold in our helicopter. I've got 4 right now, and the number is yellow. When it's red, I would definitely be at maximum capacity, but I don't know what that is, and I don't really want to find out. So let's just unload these guys and refill my armor. And I'm here. I probably shouldn't grab these resources, but I'm just gonna do it. All right. It works really good to get your helicopter right up by that hole so you can just pick these people up and get the heck out of there. I think I'm going to go to this next building and actually figure out what the capacity for the helicopter is. Because there's an LZ that's not too far away. Oh! Alright. Capacity is 6. So with unloading 6 people, this should completely top off my armor. Our next mission's a power station. It's all the way across the map. I don't know, this might be a bad idea, but I really don't expect to complete this mission. Oh crap, I'm in a danger zone. Dang it. Oh, well, let's leave that thing alone. Well, this sucks. I can't target him. All right, there we go. See, this sucks. If I would have paid attention and I knew that there was fuel up here, I wouldn't even have grabbed the fuel that I just did. I guess this mission might be a lot easier if I knew where all the resources were at. I mean, granted, I have the information, but if I would have already had it all memorized and basically could plot out the most efficient route, so I'm not wasting fuel driving from one side of the map to the other. Flying from one side of the map to the other. And we got to come down here and take out this chemical manufacturing plant. All right. Oh, crap. Oh, good. There's ammo refill right there. I'm not following my own advice. I'm not getting lined up very well with this thing. Alright, there we go. And let's fly in here and destroy this building. Oh crap, I got low fuel. I might run out of fuel. Oh, I'm definitely running out of fuel. I don't think there's even a point in flying back. Ooh. There's what happens when you run out of fuel. Intelligence info, check status. I got the location of a Scud launcher from this commander. Check your map. Alright. We'll fly out here and destroy this Scud launcher. There we go. Huh. Launched the Scud and I guess I shot it out of the air. Oh, no, don't shoot him. Ooh. I'm gonna leave that fuel there for now and I'll come back for it. Dang it, I crashed into it. Let's find our next Scud commander. Dang it. Okay. There's another commander over here to the east. All right, my load is 5 so I can pick up one more Scud Commander. Gosh dang it. I do not like those things. They... Ugh. I killed a civilian. God, I crashed into that thing again. I completed it. No, don't shoot the truck. We have to rescue 14 POWs? Oh my god. I don't have enough fuel for that. I can just get to this LZ and unload all these guys. Yes. Can refill my armor. Fuel is good, ammo is not. So I'm going to stop and pick up an ammo crate. Oh my god, I just frickin' destroyed it. Jeez. Alright, we're good on fuel. Let's go to our POW camp and see what's shaking. Of course, I'm low on armor. Oh, that's because that's an RPG guy. I thought it was just a regular infantry. No wonder he took me down so fast. All right. Huh. Yeah, I blew a hole in the wall for you guys. I think the cutscenes are just a little unnecessary. All right, that's a load of 4. And there's no more room. Oh, good. Reinforcements came. Well, hopefully... Oh. I should be able to sneak up behind that thing and shoot a Hellfire or 2 at it and take it out. Hopefully its turrets will be facing back over to like the northwest. Where is it at? There it is. Oh, crap. Fuel. One thing I forgot to mention in the controls, sweet. Let's just pick up our last guy. In the controls, you can select momentum on or off. I would leave it on. I think the helicopter control's pretty good in this game, and I like having the momentum. It just feels better. I don't know why I did this. I guess habit. I could have just flew right to my ship and probably ended the mission. That is Desert Strike for the Sega Genesis. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this video, and we'll see you next time.